Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Today, what we'd like to do is do a somewhat brief overview of the new Crunchyroll series, Black Lotus, that just came out.
The first 2 episodes.
Yeah, we watched the first 2 episodes today, and essentially what we're going to be going over is kind of the main plots in the system as a whole, how good, do the characters fit, is the plot line straight, some form of, is this show worth putting your time into, or is it just like the show Houdini with smoke and mirrors?
See, when they did the intro, it looked really fucking good, and it got me hyped, other than the eyelashes. But they kept, the character dark and everything, because I think they knew that that's their low point. Because that is an awesome intro. The music's great, and it does get you hyped.
Oh, yeah, it shows off all the great stuff about this, and then right at the first jump in, it's like, hey, you ready for that E3 demo to come to life?
Because it's like they got the reflections and everything. It looks like it's detailed, but it also looks like it's lifeless.
It does. It's kind of like Star Wars: The Clone Wars at first, where the animation itself and the way that it's done, it throws you out of it. And I know for at least the Clone Wars series, you end up being drug into it for the story. But they have this beautiful world that they built with all these, physics simulations and effects just to have these plastic characters.
They do kind of look like Barbie dolls, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of...
Look at the hair physics now being gone. It's the tips. The tips have physics. The rest of the hair doesn't. Right, and... you're looking at everything else. Like, you got this beautiful world. It's ray traced. Except for this scene.
No, that's ray tracing. It's soft.
I know it is, but I'm talking about beautiful.
Yeah, but for what it is, if you would have just seen that world without the character plates, it still would have been a good looking scene.
Yeah, but you look at the world as they give you your first set of establishing shots of the city. And it looks great. Yeah, it looks really dark and everything, like it's a DC movie, but it does look like it was done really well.
Yeah, and it plays off the original movie, It has...
with the cyber umbrellas.
Yeah, the cyber umbrellas, which is pretty neat. I like that a lot. And, some of the cars that look like generic Batwing in the back. But, no, it does. It has this beautiful cyberpunk-esque dystopian look, which, dystopian's the new thing. But
to be fair, Blade Runner did it when it wasn't really the new thing.
Yeah, Blade Runner was one of the ones that just jumped in on the fiasco. Now everyone's jumping in.
Yeah.
But I think another big off point for me is just the character animations. It's just Skyrim NPC, and you just see this main character who's also hand animated, kind of weird because they're shooting the scene at 24 frames, but they're animating the character at 12 frames. And it's just it doesn't feel as real as the world that they put their characters in. After we did
Best beer. Fucking love it.
Japanese world. Best beer, though.
Yeah, everything else in fucking Japanese, this in English.
Yeah. This diner scene really puts me off.
I think it's because she moves so slow. I think she still runs at 12 frames.
And like I said, you see this, really awkward character design in full-fledged, but what makes it even weirder is this diner itself doesn't feel like it's supposed to be in the world.
It's not like it's a part of the scene.
Yeah, but the characters fit. It's like those old Scooby-Doo movies where it's you saw the weird off-painted thing and you're like, oh, that's going to be used. That's what it just feels like. Oh, I know what you're going to do. You're going to go through that door, hit him with that vase. But yeah, I think honestly the animation really is kind of cringy, especially when it gets to the fight scenes.
Well, I think part of it is that the characters are too smooth. They don't have enough details that really make them look like they're people. And then the way that they walk. The fact that they weren't mo-capped.
Yeah, and that's a big thing with Japanese animation is they don't typically do mocap. They always like to hand animate, which is fine in its own right.
Typically it's really good.
Yeah, and you can get a lot of stuff that humans can't naturally do.
Not to mention, you can make them move faster than humans fighting. There's a reason why we have to speed up footage when it's people doing it.
Yeah, but like this first fight scene, it just kind of feels, it has a touch of off.
Like I said, I think it's because the characters don't have any weight to them. Nothing feels solid.
Yeah. It's kind of like those old video game cutscenes, like when you're about to get into a boss fight.
That's probably because this looks like it's a late PlayStation 2 game.
It does. The characters are like late PlayStation 2. Everything else is like rendered out in the dirty 80. Another big off point is like the obsessive use of building so much canonical backstory.
Right. Just to toss it in fucking the second episode.
Yeah, it's like backstory plotline. Alright. I understand it. Establish your character. Next fight. Canonical backstory. Okay. We got 2 now. A little something to build up
3.
on.
It started with 1.
Yeah, and then here it is like 4, the 5th one on the second episode, and you're like, what did she go through? She was built a week ago. How shitty was your life?
Good, and then in the previews for the next episode, she just goes, how can I do these things? It's like, I just told you fucking 20 minutes ago, you're a robot.
Yeah, like you were not human.
Yeah, you were programmed. Yeah, my question would have been, not how can I do these things, but why the fuck was I programmed to do these things?
Yeah, like why was I built to do this?
Yeah.
If you have no memory and the first thing someone tells you is, yeah, you're completely fake.
Bro, that fucking light effect there.
Oh yeah. They have beautiful effects, and like...
They do, but they come and go. Like, sometimes you can see the rain fall on the camera that isn't actually there. Oh, yeah. But then the rain doesn't collide with any other object. You can't... They don't even get wet. But look at the reflections of the puddles.
Oh, yeah. Okay. This fucking guy.
Oh, God, dude. Doc is so fucking weird. I swear he was modeled to be autistic.
I refuse to call him Doc. I'm just going to call him...
What is he, Doctor of?
Yeah. That's another thing. Like, they do not tell you jack shit of these characters that they've built. Like, they call him Doc. Never once did the character go, hey, why do they call you that? And him, say, oh, I'm like a cyborg doctor. Which is what I'm guessing he is.
I mean, considering that he messes with weird-ass objects, probably.
Yeah, considering I see computers and ammo cans.
Not to mention you had the fucking police come by that hunts down the remnants. Or not remnants, whatever the fuck, replicas.
Yeah, my dude has a 64-point surround system. Fucking all the speakers.
I love how the computers in the future look fucking obsolete, even today.
Right. But yet, the umbrella is more high-tech than the computer.
Yeah. Imagine the fucking Snapdragon processor you had to put in your fucking umbrella.
Yeah. It's like, man, we got this beautiful-ass umbrella done with a Raspberry Pi. But brand new computer just came out. What's it on? FX software. Fuck.
Because his dialogue does not match, both in the English and the Japanese dubbing. His dialogue does not match his lip movement.
Oh, it's because of them drag strip teeth.
Yeah. And he just moves so fucking weird, dude.
I guarantee that dude could bite straight through a jawbreaker and his teeth still wouldn't touch.
I bet he doesn't have wire cutters around the office, just like a fucking rat. The dialogue in this show is pretty bad, but it's even worse when Doc is around.
Oh god, it's so bad. He's dead ass the blacksmith at Whiterun.
I forget what we were watching about this. That made me think the continuity was good, but now look at it, her face went from being fine to scuffed to being fine.
Yeah, her hair... Also, her hair went from having detail to no detail to physics.
Oh, yeah.
With detail, and you're like, what?
So it just cut from puddles on the ground to nothing.
Yeah. No trace of wetness whatsoever, even though they just established that everything on the floor up.
Not to mention red light that came out of nowhere and is being projected by fucking nothing.
Yeah.
But here, it is still kind of hard to watch. But I want to see where it goes.
It is.
It's because I want it to be good.
Yeah, like you can tell a lot of people put their heart into this, and
because I mean, you look at the disappointment of High Guardian Spice. It's something that the animation looks like Steven Universe. If you're into that, then you can consider that good. But it doesn't have good dialogue so far. It hasn't had a good plot, and they promised money to Japanese studios only to fucking outsource it to Americans, and it looks like that's part of what happened here, because the production company is an American company, even though the studio behind it is Japanese.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder how much of the freedom that they could have had got taken away, and how much is on the studio versus the production studio or the producing studio.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing is that, there's probably some guy working for this studio that was making all these assets and was spending hours upon hours and hours of time building this. Like, if anyone that thinks this is easy to just put all this stuff together, go jump into some 3D software and try it for yourself. It really is hard to have characters interact with other characters. Like, just as something as simple as that guy holding a gun or her holding a katana, it's hard. It's hard to get characters.
Object collision.
Yeah. Like, that is hard to have those things. You look at that gun
right
with zero recoil. Yeah, no recoil on the gun. And a dick stab.
Just bleeding profusely from his penis.
I mean, I hope I would. Because I'd be hard during that fight. But
the ray tracing.
Yeah. But yeah, like, that's kind of the thing. Like, this stuff isn't easy to use. And yeah, they have some top-notch software. We did some digging and we found out that they used Maya and Houdini effects.
I mean, the Houdini didn't take any digging. You fucking recognize that right off the bat.
Oh, yeah. The way that I was able to figure out that it was immediately a Houdini effects was if you look at their
smoke screen from the police car.
Yeah, like they essentially come out with these giant premiere reels for anytime they have like add new stuff, and they want to show it off.
The lens flares and everything, like
yeah,
it could have been so much.
But yeah, on their premiere reel actually was the Black Lotus police cars as they land, and you see the big giant plume of smoke come out. That was actually on their premiere reel for their new smoke effects.
Something, though, that I am worried about with this, because in the second episode, you immediately find out that she's a robot. I mean, it's towards the end, but from the very fucking beginning.
Yeah, if you're part of the Blade Runner series, it doesn't take too long.
Dude, I've never even seen the movies, and I knew it.
Yeah.
But it's something that I worry about, is if they're trying to get this out of the way, so later on, they don't have to deal with the Blade Runner universe, and they can run off doing what they want to do with this already existing IP, because they got fans in it, rather than creating something new like they've been doing with a lot of stuff.
You can tell that there was rush in the storyline. They put all their time into assets.
Well, look at him walk.
Yeah, they scrambled in animation, and they scrambled in character design. And it all could just be, trying to find computers that can actually process all this data that isn't, high-end, pretty much render farm level. Because, like I said, just to render this out on a basic computer, just a still frame is going to take hours. Just for the still frame. Now, if you have, like, a decent little PC setup and a gaming setup, and you got like a good graphics card, you're maybe still looking at 20 minutes render time. It pisses me off that his hand just gained detail.
Yeah, and then loses it.
I wish that they just made all the characters with the level of detail that his hand has. Enough to get by, but not enough to murder a computer. And then maybe just kind of like...
Maybe if they pour fucking liquor on all of them to wake them up, maybe their hands would all look that fucking great.
Absolutely disrespect.
Like I said, I'm worried that they're trying to get the whole Blade Runner shit out of the way so they can then go in their own direction and basically ignore the rules of the IP like a lot of companies have been doing lately. Fucking, you look at everything that's been rebooted or have been continued. Yeah. From fucking Thundercats to fucking Ghostbusters and Star Wars and all that.
Even Chucky completely changing the IP from a doll to a robot.
Oh, yeah.
and making it seem like people were the problem or the cause of, this killer robot. And it's like, that's not Chucky. Don't do that. Don't do that to something that's already established. You love the GTA cutscene right here?
Yeah. GTA 4.
Yeah. Nico!
Want to go bowling? This whole concept of the difference between what is human and what is people and what makes somebody human. So I'm wondering how you take something that was such a philosophical movie and cut it down into a show. Like, what are the major philosophical points that this would be making? Because if you're going to exist off a movie that raised questions like that, you need to be able to back it up. Houdini fix.
Dude, they're so beautiful. They're so beautiful. I would watch this entire series just for the Houdini effects. And they rendered this beautiful world, and it just kind of sucks to see that a lot got kind of dropped right here when it came down to, is the story good? Can these characters actually fit in this world?
Also, cops can park on the sidewalk? What fucking dicks?
Kind of.
Oh, he wasn't even a cop. But yeah, dick.
Kind of the sidewalk. Do you want your cyber car to get hit by a poor person? You know they don't got insurance. I'd be pretty upset. Like, fuck, man, this bitch was $70,000. What am I gonna do? You got the money to pay for that? Like, homie, I don't even have enough money to pay for my drugs.
You look at a game that came out just a couple of years ago, Detroit Become Human, that wrestled with a lot of things that you would love to see from Blade Runner. Just, fucking robots becoming human.
Oh, yeah.
Like, to the point that there's no real distinguishment. And you wonder why they don't get people who wrote stuff like that on teams for this.
Yeah. Well, take the movie I Am Robot that had Will Smith.
Will Smith?
Yeah. That was also based on, like, this Blade Runner premise.
Yeah.
And it was really great. They had almost the same thing. It wasn't as dark and as grungy and wasn't cyberpunk, but it was cyber-esque, considering that it was a futuristic world.
But you just look at, like, some of these stories that were told very well, and you wonder why they just can't seem to pull off the same thing.
No,
but maybe in time they will.
They definitely took a big leap of faith on this, and it looks like they threw all they had in it. And the people that, actually shine at their art really do shine in this show. But the people that just are all about the business and the money, it shows. Because like I said, you have this beautiful world, and all these high render times on a lot of these effects that they're doing. But then it just kind of gets washed away with this cheap, cheesy story that just doesn't seem great.
Oh, the music has been pretty on point, and the sound effects. I'm loving the sound direction in it. That is one of my favorite things about it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking PlayStation 2 graphics again.
Yeah, Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Yeah.
Really shining. For the Wii, that's what we're watching in this fight scene. But, like, that's my big thing is, if you're going to take the time and you're going to have, all these men put in the work, put in the hours to, animate a fight scene, especially these double fight scenes where it seems like the characters have more weight than they've had in the entire story. To have even all the characters that are shitty in here can actually shine, because now it feels like they're somewhat part of this world. Because
except for the actual boxers.
No, the actual boxers are just fucking haymakers after haymakers. Not one jab thrown in that fight. But yeah, like, you have these beautiful side-by-side fights. Oh my god.
That thing?
No. Where's him in the remote? They went from doing it on 12s to doing it on 6s.
What?
Dead serious.
Just straight half frame rate drop.
Full-fledged, you could tell they quit. Watch the people in the background when it goes to like the big wide shot of Cage and all. Watch their hands.
Jesus, it's like what you're talking about, and it's looped too. It's like the same 3 frames looped.
Yeah, it's straight up 3 frames, up, down, and it's not done smoothly. And you can tell they push their hardware to the limit. Like,
I bet.
They're like, we physically can't do this many particles.
Yeah, but it's also a question of if it really is Sony, because Sony doesn't own Warner Brothers, if I remember right, and Warner Brothers owns Adult Swim. So this could be a competing company that they're currently working with, but they might not have been able to get out of the whole set of exclusives that were probably already in the works.
Yeah, so there's a lot that they kind of have to do to kind of explain this cheese line backstory with, you smack that bitch with some Johnny Blue.
Apparently. Also, I don't know how he knows that she was made a week ago. Like, no serial number. Like, this motherfucker didn't even tap her forehead for the NFC code.
No. Also, he's strangling a robot.
Yeah, I still don't understand that. How the fuck do you strangle something with no lungs? For a chick that has only been alive for 3 weeks, she has an impressive pin collection already.
Mm-hmm. I think they're more cyborg than anything, so they have human features like lung tissues.
You have one guy. One guy noticed this dead body, and he's just looking around like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, see the other guy that's like right in front of him, just like 2 steps.
Not even giving a shit.
Yeah, dude's like, oh my god, there's a guy knocked out. Look, like, see the dude in the green jacket? He's just like, yeah, you kicked his ass. Hey, man, someone's dead over here. Like, it's all right, man. I've been to a Travis Scott concert. I know what it's about. Just fucking cheering on.
It looks like the original Metal Gear Solid game when you would kill a guy and then his teammate would just fucking walk up to him like, oh my god, look left and right, then go back to patrolling.
Hey, man. Grunt work.
Bro, the water effects. It looks like they're played backwards, though, because there is supposed to be water moving down, but it looks like it's moving up. But it's the same frames, just over and over.
I mean, great time saver for rendering times. Just get a normal map to have rain particles already on it, and have it as a bump map.
Yeah.
So that you already have the water, pretty much what looks to be water, acting on the screen of the windshield as the bump map, and then since the windshield's translucent, those protruding bumps that would be seen as water, those would actually be just as translucent as the windshield, but the light reflecting off of them, because they would react differently, would actually give off a better effect.
So can we stop putting fucking Chinese checkers and everything? Nobody understands it. The studio is Japanese. They don't even understand it.
They really...
Fucking Chinese checkers in an anime.
Also, just because someone's rich doesn't always mean that they're into fucking checkers or chess.
I mean, I'd be down for chess, just not Chinese checkers. Regular fucking check. Connect 4.
Connect
4. They can play Connect 4. Just stop with the Chinese checkers. Nobody understands. I'd take Mahjong. I don't understand that either, but at least that's something that people legitimately play. I don't know anybody who plays Chinese checkers.
Well, could you just imagine if it was like a game of fucking Yahtzee? Try holding a serious conversation over a game of Yahtzee. Fucking just... We really need to get this shit in line. Yahtzee! What'd you get? Snake eyes. Fuck!
Just fucking trying to talk about the company merger as the fucking dice are rolling around in the cup.
It'd suck ass. Is that 2 of the exact same people?
It might have been.
Damn gas mask and the same gas mask. He's just smaller.
He's been in here like 4 times.
Oh yeah, you gotta reuse the NPCs. Need anything? I just want to see someone glitch out and walk against the wall.
There goes Cyclops.
Yeah.
There's a gas mask.
Yeah, there's a gas mask, and he's walking next to his little gas mask cousin.
Yeah, right there.
Exact same guy, just literally inches smaller. Same clothes.
Dude, are skinheads just wearing fucking gas masks in the future?
They said, not only do we hate everybody, we also hate the air. Your air is not as clean as my air.
Yeah, I love the fact that they were just like, you know, It's a woman. She's about this old. Hey, this woman here at the scene of the crime. Hey, can I talk to you? No. Okay, no further questions.
Police work at its best.
Oh shit, they got that Rittenhouse aim.
My boy said, "Plow! My biceps!" Those strongman contest for you, my friend.
Those have to be the shittiest cars to try and aim in.
I mean, the people from Halo can do it. Post it up on the side of the fucking warthog.
Okay, but to be fair, I'm pretty So I'm guessing that guy is going to spare her life seeing the humanity in this, because I'm pretty sure he's the one that she has the positive flashbacks about.
This is my thing. At what point in an execution, in anybody doing an execution, do they just have this weird hesitant moment like, oh, wait, I should give them like 15 seconds to maybe pull some shenanigans off? Like, not once.
This motherfucker straight fired a bullet.
Hey, man, protagonist.
I don't know why I only knocked her out and she lives.
He has
this
protagonist
guy
haircut.
I don't care if he has a protagonist haircut. This isn't fucking Final Fantasy.
Whips out that big fucking blade.
Fucking, what was it? Sleeping Dogs. He looks like he belongs in Sleeping Dogs.
He does.
I mean, the dialogue isn't great. The characters don't look like they fit, but the background is beautiful. The plot doesn't seem to be that great so far, but I'm wanting to see where it goes because I'm hoping that it's going to be good.
I'll watch maybe, 5 episodes deep. If you can get 5 episodes and they're still... Did I say motion capture?
What?
Bullshit.
Fucking no way. Did they motion capture the handicap? Is that what it is?
They handcap instead of mocap. They handcap.
They mocapped handicapped people. That's why they walk so fucking weird.
Motion capture actors.
What? How? What the fuck is wrong with these people?
When did they mocap?
What did they mocap? Because none of those people walked like people.
Yeah, I don't think they had enough scene.
Dude, Doc was mocapped? Really? Doc.
Wow.
And he was mocapped by the same person, whoever the fuck that is. Oh, that was, the old guy. At the end, playing Chinese checkers, I think.
Could you be that bad of a mocap actor that you look...
All of them, dude.
I'm guessing it can't... It has to be,
maybe it's the frame rate?
Well, it'd still have to be, on a per-scene basis. And that could be why things don't fit. That's why the fight scenes aren't as fluid, because that's hand animated compared to mocap. And then I think the mocap was honestly on and off.
Well, they had action mocap actors too.
But I think that would have been for the boxers and for small fight scenes. But when she's jump kicking and spiraling.
Well, I mean, still, even when they're just walking the street, none of it felt natural.
No, those guys were flat stills. And that
I mean, even the main character, Ellie, has an actress in mocap.
That would have to be I would think. But I would think that's for Ellie, it'd be just kind of walking images, even though her walking doesn't fit. Because that is kind of weird that they did some form of mocap. It could have been off reference. That could be a thing. They mocap something and then hand animate over. Because that would make sense when you want more...
Control?
Yeah, well, not even just control. When you gotta, break the laws of physics, you gotta kind of, well, she jumped in this scene. Well, she needs to jump higher in this scene. And that could be where some of the kind of junkiness comes in. And why things don't feel so fluid.
I need to see what's inside. How do I get it open?
You can't. When it comes to this Blade Runner series, this is actually a full CG animation production. Motion capture with human actors, enhanced by human animators. But at the same time, it's going to look different. It's gonna feel
Enhanced by human animators. That might be why.
Yep, that's kind of what I figured.
So it's because they then digitally altered the people in the mocaps, but then they did it where it's not needed. Because, like, walking animations for our leads, they shouldn't look the way that they do. And it could just be the frame rate.
They messed up when they immediately said it's mocapped and enhanced by hand animators. Because that, I think, that's where they went wrong. But that would definitely be something for, like, another video where we kind of go over them revealing it.
You know, like, the dialogue isn't very good. The characters don't look like they belong. They have that uncanny valley thing because there's not enough details on them. They're too smooth. But the sound direction's been really good. The backgrounds have been really good. The plot hasn't. And I'm wondering if they're just trying to get this basic stuff out of the way and then get into something better, hopefully. So I'll at least check out a few more episodes.
That's fair. Like I said, I'll give it till episode 5. If nothing has changed and it's still just, you know, beautiful scenery, shit characters, and no well-founded dialogue, I'm just gonna say, fuck it. I'll collect his Skittles here, dumbass. Alright, you ready?
Free Skittles, bitch.
Yeah.